This is Kaos, and so now this is time for a new technical guide as Steam as the game server for you to download DRM-free versions of games off the internet. Steam is now obsolete for Windows 10, so here's what you do as someone who's emulating Steam using Coder's Crossover on Mac OS. And I'm going to show you how it works, all the various steps, and a few optional steps for certain types of games, such as Bethesda games needing a certain thing done, Final Fantasy games needing a certain measure done, and so on. This should all be great, and we'll take care of this new technology hurdle right here, right now. Let's get started. So here we go. We go and instead of doing a Windows 10 installation, we set it to Windows 11, as you see here. So we set it to Windows 11, and that takes care of the obsolescence. Sorry, but this obsolescence applies even to Coder's Crossover. So here we're going to do start by installing Steam that way, and it should work pretty fine. There will be a little bit of an initial delay, so don't just cancel, because it could take a minute or two to actually get the installation part started. Now it's going a little bit, so it's still slow. Do not panic. It's typical even for Crossover 26. Now you're doing the DirectX install, so you'll have to do another DirectX installation to take care of some missing files or dependencies that are not installed with this, but it should go pretty well. Install your fonts, and we'll have a few more installations after this, but this is just the basic one for the visual and for fonts. As we have here, we're going to install the fonts because you need their fonts to display in games for text. There's a variety of different fonts used in the games, so install the fonts here. But the trick here is, as we're seeing, you install using Windows 11 for the bottle. Now eventually CodeWeavers should be fixing this, and in the meantime we're just going to say, hey, join the beta testers if you use CodeWeavers Crossover, because that way you can share it with other users like you how things work, and even share instructions on how to get it going. So yeah, there's a little bit more C++ installations because this is Windows 11, so yeah, you're going to agree to this one, okay? But there's going to be a separate DirectX installation to make sure that the missing files that were not installed in this part do get installed ultimately. The good news I have is that some games that didn't work so well with the Windows 10 version of Steam work great in this case, such as Alien vs. Predator 2010 or Castlevania Lords of Shadow. Those work better than they did in the previous Windows 10 version of Steam, which is now the obsolete one, so you're pretty much forced into something that plays more games. It's a good deal. And like I said before, hopefully CodeWeavers fixes it and has it so that Steam installs as Windows 11, which is up to date. So with this, it's going to go the rest of the way. You use your email verification like you use, or your mobile app verification in newer versions of Steam to verify that you are logging in. And without much further ado, we're going to move to the next part, which is the DirectX install, because that takes care of what this initial default DirectX installation with Steam does not handle. Okay, so we're going to go to that. Alright, here we go. So this is going to be the DirectX install that finishes the dependencies that didn't get installed first time around. So here we go. And hopefully, like I said, hopefully CodeWeavers will fix it so that we do a Windows 11 install in the cross tie for Steam. But here's how it goes. You choose DirectX for modern games, install into Steam. Even though it says it's incompatible, it does work. It does install. So you click through the yes like usual, and then get going. There we go. Now some of these, like the X audios, didn't install properly, but now it does. Okay. So here we go. Almost there. Almost there. And done. We are finished here. So next thing we're going to go into is DXVK, which it helps with issues for macOS compatibility. So that's going to be our next one. And then we're going to go into the optional installs. So here we are. Let's start with DXVK. Now this is quite easy, installing a DXVK here. It's just DXVK built in. You just install it into the Steam bottle and that's it. After this, we're going to go into the optional installations for different types of games. So this is the end of what you really need to install, generally speaking. But for specific kinds of games, that's what is coming up next. So this is for the Ubisoft games. This is the first set of optional. The other one will be Final Fantasy and Bethesda. But here it is for the optional Ubisoft games. You have to install Ubisoft Connect into Steam. So with it in the Steam bottle, it will automatically go into the Ubisoft app for games like Assassin's Creed or Splinter Cell, later Splinter Cell games anyways, which use the Ubisoft app to play. So I know it's annoying, but this is the reason why Assassin's Creed games have much higher functionality with these newer versions of crossover and newer versions of Steam in crossover than they did before, is because, you guessed it, you install Ubisoft Connect and the Windows 11, which addresses the obsolescence of Windows 10 for Steam. So here we go. Install Ubisoft Connect into Steam. And this is simple, but after this, when this is done, you have to do your own login to Ubisoft Connect using your username and password that you know you have. So just like logging to Steam, that's up to you. You install Ubisoft Connect and then you find the login, which might be behind this crossover window. So, click around, make sure you can see the Ubisoft login window. Or you can click on it in the launcher. Now here it is. So it's installing the rest of Ubisoft Connect, and then you're going to install and go log in using your own information for login. And that's it for Ubisoft games. And now we go into the second round of optional installations. This is for Bethesda games. So I have earlier ones that are approximately the same as this one, but this is specifically for Steam. I call it the Bethesda audio override. You have to put the X audio files, and I will have a copy and paste for these files so you can know what to copy and paste to install. And I have it and I'm copying and pasting from Notepad into the library section of wine configuration. So I open wine configuration, and I'm going to go carefully copy and paste to add these libraries in, and Quotereader's crossover will install them into this bottle or wrapper for this application. So all these X audio files, you need them, or else you'll have serious issues with the graphics, like the game being just straight up white while it plays for Fallout or Elder Scrolls games. So here you go. Now Final Fantasy files are next. All right. Now here we go. This is the second round of optional installations for games with Final Fantasy Files. So here we go. I have these copied and pasted off the notepad, but I will have the files you can copy and paste in the description of this video, so you can easily just copy and paste to do the installation. Just like with Bethesda games, you have to go into wine configuration, then go to the libraries tab and copy and paste these files in, and your Final Fantasy game should run just fine as a result. Now, to finish this entire thing off, I'm going to show you some test footage, because I promised, before I realized the obsolescence and got the news of how Windows 10 Steam is obsolete, or rather Steam is obsolete for Windows 10, I was going to let you know how Half-Life worked. Well, what better place to show the functionality of a Half-Life game than on Steam from Valve, which made Half-Life games. So here we are. We're going to go into Half-Life, play the original, and see how it looks on this newly installed Windows 11 bottle for Steam. As you can see, this game runs very smoothly. There might be a few mouse cursor issues in Half-Life. You can fix that using, say, a Cursorcerer, or where you set up a key stroke combination to hide the mouse pointer, the black and white mouse pointer that you normally have by default on your Mac OS operating system. But otherwise, Half-Life runs great. I haven't gotten it to work with a controller of any kind, but it's mainly a PC game, so I just play this with my keyboard and mouse. But otherwise, this is great. Thanks for stopping by. I'll have more software guides coming up with the remainder of this summer unfolding. So thank you for stopping by, and subscribe and follow the channel if you want to keep up to date with new Kaos tutorials. I had previous tutorials episodes with showing you how to get freeware games going, how to get escape velocity going, how to get, or even, no, it's not freeware technically. You can get the old Heroes of Might and Magic 3 running as well. So you can check those out. And in the meantime, as I always want to say, in conclusion, be safe out there, because I will be signing off.